Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, friends. Thank you for joining this premiere live upload. My name is DutyRon, retired New York City Police Detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And today I'm doing a video that has to do with the complete statement from Judge Esther Salas on the killing of her son and her husband in their New Jersey home. As you know, I did a video a few weeks ago when this incident happened. Judge Salas is a federal judge in New Jersey, and she was the victim, and her son, her only son, was a victim of a crazed gunman who came to their home dressed in a FedEx outfit and slaughtered her son and shot her husband 3 times. He is still in the hospital fighting multiple surgeries and trying to recover to get home. They lost their only son in this terrible tragedy. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you today that the enacted laws that are on the books here in New York by Governor Mario Cuomo and the mayor of New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio, and other states that are jumping on the bandwagon of releasing law enforcement information, law enforcement professionals, names, addresses, and things of that nature is a complete and utter disgrace and disaster to the men and women of law enforcement, to the judges, to the correction officers, to the probation officers, to all state, federal, and local men and women who do go out there and risk their lives to bring evil to justice. I think we owe it to them to have legislation prepared to make it their names, their addresses, their families. We need to secure their family's safety by enacting legislation that disables people from being able to go on paid free sites to extract law enforcement right up from the street level into the courts. As the federal judge you will hear her speak about, there's got to be a better way. So thank you so much for joining. To my channel members, my Patreon supporters, and everyone who supports this channel. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you will get all things DutyRon. I think it's important that we protect our law enforcement professionals and the people that are in the judicial system, the judges on the state and local level, and the federal judges. Not just federal judges. I think this should be for everybody. Our correction officers, our probation, and everyone that goes out in the field and takes the very evil people off of the streets that we don't want to have to deal with ourselves. So I think this is an important video. It's important that each and every one of us see this heartfelt statement from Judge Esther Salas, who now is a mother without a child. Her only child, 20 years old, was killed in this incident, and today is the first day that she speaks about it. So I will, without further ado, play her statement and then end this premiere. Thank you so much for anyone who has given super chat or has positively interacted in this stream, and thank you to everyone who is joining. Much love and respect from DutyRon. So without further ado, here is the complete statement from Judge Esther Salas. I wish her and her family a lot of peace and love. They need all the support that they can get, losing their only child to a crazed gunman who cowardly took his own life. And that doesn't come as a surprise to me, because most of these people are cowards. Took his own life and was responsible for killing another person in California. So without further ado, here is the video of Judge Esther Salas.
2 weeks ago, my life as I knew it changed in an instant, and my family will never be the same. A madman, who I believe was targeting me because of my position as a federal judge, came to my house. Our family had just finished a weekend celebration in honor of our son, Daniel Mark's 20th birthday. Daniel always wanted to spend his birthdays with his dad and me, so he asked that we host a party for a few of his Catholic University of America friends. Because of the pandemic, Mark and I, my husband and I, had some concerns. However, we thought we could adhere to safety guidelines, and we agreed to allow his friends to come spend the weekend. The weekend was a glorious one. It was filled with love and laughter and smiles. As Daniel's last friend departed on Sunday, we decided we'd give Daniel a pass on his usher duties. When Mark and I returned from church, Daniel was upstairs sleeping, and we decided to give him a little rest. But as the afternoon progressed, it was time to clean up from the weekend festivities. Daniel and I went downstairs to the basement, and we were chatting, as we always do. And Daniel said, "Mom, let's keep talking. I love talking to you, Mom." And it was at that exact moment that the doorbell rang. And Daniel looked at me and said, "Who is that?" And before I could say a word, he sprinted upstairs. Within seconds, I heard the sound of bullets and someone screaming, "No!" I later learned that this monster, who had a FedEx package in his hand, opened fire. But Daniel, being Daniel, protected his father. And he took the shooter's first bullet directly to the chest. The monster then turned his attention to my husband and began to shoot at my husband, one shot after another. Mark was shot 3 times. One bullet entered his right chest, the other his left abdomen, and the last one in the right forearm. While my husband is still in the hospital recovering from his multiple surgeries, we are living every parent's worst nightmare, making preparations to bury our only child, Daniel. My family has experienced a pain that no one should ever have to endure. And I am here asking everyone to help me ensure that no one ever has to experience this kind of pain. We may not be able to stop something like this from happening again, but we can make it hard for those who target us to track us down. As a federal judge, I took an oath to administer justice without respect to a person's race, gender, or economic status. As I speak to you today, I can honestly say that I have worked tirelessly to uphold that pledge. As federal judges, we understand that our decisions will be scrutinized, and some may disagree strongly with our rulings. We know that our job requires us to make tough calls, and sometimes those calls can leave people angry and upset. That comes with the territory, and we accept that. But what we cannot accept is when we are forced to live in fear for our lives because personal information like our home addresses can easily be obtained by anyone seeking to do us or our families harm. Unfortunately for my family, the threat was real, and the free flow of information from the internet allowed this sick and depraved human being to find all our personal information and target us. Currently, federal judges' addresses and other information is readily available on the internet. In addition, there are companies that will sell your personal details that can be leveraged for nefarious purposes. In my case, the monster knew where I lived and what church we attended and had a complete dossier on me and my family. At the moment, there is nothing we can do to stop it, and that is unacceptable. My son's death cannot be in vain, which is why I am begging those in power to do something to help my brothers and sisters on the bench. Now, more than ever, we need to identify a solution that keeps the lives of federal judges private. I know this is a complicated issue, and I don't pretend to know or have all the answers. But together we can find a way. Let's commence a national dialogue. Let's work collaboratively to find a solution that will safeguard the privacy of federal judges. Let me be clear and tell you firsthand, this is a matter of life and death. And we can't just sit back and wait for another tragedy to strike. Finally, I would be remiss if I failed to thank the people who have done their part to try to relieve a little bit of this unfathomable pain that we are experiencing. Mark and I want to express our heartfelt appreciation to all the first responders, to the doctors, including but not limited to Doctors Choron, Flippin, Gupta, Littlejohn, the countless nurses, too many to name, but you know we love you. Staff and leadership at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, who have helped to treat Mark and me over the last 2 weeks. Thank you to all law enforcement agencies, federal, local, and state, of course. I know I spoke with many of you last week, and you prefer to remain nameless. But I need you to know that you're in our hearts, and we can't thank you enough for all that you do. And to everyone who reached out, and to everyone who said a prayer, and to everyone who is keeping my family in your thoughts, thank you. The outpouring of love has been overwhelming, and I can tell you that it has lifted us during our darkest hours. I just want to say thank you to you all, and I love you.
Well, that was beautiful. Well said by the judge. My prayers go to her and her family and the loved ones who were left behind in this senseless tragedy. Again, let's band together. Let's make something happen here, and let's change this procedure. These laws have to be changed on the books to make it a crime to advertise federal judges, state judges, local judges, law enforcement professionals of all branches, state, federal, and local. Let's change. Let's make something happen. These are the people who deal with the evil day in and day out. Thank you for joining. I want to wish you guys all a very happy, safe, and healthy Monday and the rest of your week. God bless each and every one of you from New York. Peace and love from DutyRon. Thank you.